The third mental fitness attribute that I outline in my opening 2020 video is optimism. It's an attitude that reflects the belief that outcomes of events or experiences will be positive. Now, optimism and pessimism exist on a continuum spectrum. At one extreme, there's unrealistic optimism, where you keep wishing for positive outcomes in a situation where you fail to see danger or warning signs and the need to change direction. Now, at the opposite end is unrealistic pessimism, which is when someone only sees the risks and danger in every situation and keeps blaming oneself when bad things happen. And this can lead to chronic depression and anxiety. Now, science shows that those with an optimistic outlook tend to have better cardiovascular health and immune system, again demonstrating the link between physical health and mental health. So while some might argue that the sweet spot is in the middle, a realist who looks at situations objectively, the reality is that we're all humans and we're not Dr. Spock, a Vulcan from Star Trek, a fictitious species devoid of emotion. Emotions are what makes us human. So our natural state, whether we're inclined to be optimistic or pessimistic, is largely shaped by our upbringing. It's not cast in stone and can be reshaped. Now, a key part to building mental fitness is cultivating realistic optimism, being hopeful to the point of wanting to take actions to shape our situation rather than wait for things to happen to us. And being optimistic is not just about looking at things positively and ignoring life's stresses, but approaching hardship and difficulty in a productive and constructive way. There are three parts to building optimism. First, the desire to do something rather than just accepting the status quo. If one option may be fraught with risk or danger, look for another alternative rather than just staying where we are. Having a bias for action is about having a proactive mindset. Second, having a view that even if things don't go according to plan and the anticipated positive outcome does not materialize, that there are things that we can learn from the situation, which in the long run makes us better people than before. And third, it's to avoid the tendency to blame ourselves when things go wrong. So how do we train our brains to be more optimistic so that we can be mentally fitter? As with anything that we want to get better at, it comes down to daily practice. If we set a time in the calendar at the end of each day to log in one entry in a gratitude journal, where we find one positive thing in our day, no matter how challenging or difficult that day was. So at Naluri, we created a thought journal, a digital thought journal feature to facilitate this. Just choose one of 5 positive emotions and share a brief description about that positive outlook, and also upload an optional photo. With time, it becomes easier to find the positive in each day. Now, another way is to recognize that our emotions and outlook is greatly influenced by the people that we spend time with. Our family, our friends, our colleagues. Doing a simple inventory of the people that we regularly interact with and assessing whether are they positive influencers or negative influences, and then making an explicit decision to minimize the time spent with negative influencers. Now finally, in 2018, I did a video on scheduling worrying time. Being optimistic also means acknowledging the real issues and challenges that we face. But one way of not letting the worry overwhelm us is to set aside a specific time in the day to worry. So when negative thoughts come up, instead of allowing them to dominate our headspace, we say, I'm going to worry about it during my 6 p.m. worry time. And so another technique I use is I have pen and paper right at my bedside table. Because if I wake up in the middle of the night, I cannot sleep, I write down my thoughts that are bothering me so that I can give myself permission to rest. Otherwise, the brain keeps playing the worrying thought on repeat because it's afraid you might forget it. So hopefully these ideas spark some positive thoughts for you and encourage you to look at difficult situations with a glass half full view. So, as always, let's keep things positively personal.